Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. Paper number 12 Environmental Management, Module 14 Environment Clearance Process in India for Projects Category A. Dear students, we have already learnt about the EIA notification and the provisions in that notification. Further, now we are discussing step by step the environment clearance process for different category of projects. However, in this module we will only focus on environmental projects of category A. In this module, at the end in the static section are given some forms and appendixes. These are however not discussed here. So, here we will focus on introduction. Then what are the different stakeholders or authorities involved in the environment clearance process of environment clearance or appraisal, stages in the prior environmental clearance process for category A projects. So, introduction. The process of EIA formally started in India with EIA notification 1994, which continued in force till 2006. In year 2006, new notification 2006 was notified and immediately came into force for the new projects. For the already existing projects, the previous notification continued for next 24 months. The process of environment clearance in India has come a long way since 1994. The current process is more streamlined, objective oriented and time bound. Efforts have been made by the government to make it more hassle free, still sticking to its primary objective of protecting environment from industrial activities by making many amendments during all these years. Initially, all the process was manual and used to take years in the grant of environmental clearance. But now, the process has been online and time bound. A separate website www.environmentclearance.nic.in has been launched by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India for online submission, monitoring of environmental, coastal reserve zone clearances, mandating online submission of applications for terms of reference and environmental clearance from 4th July 2014 in the ministry and 2nd July 2015 in the SIA with a view to bring more transparency in the system and expediting the decision making. The stakeholders or authorities involved in the environment clearance process. Mainly, there are two stakeholders and one authorities involved in this whole process. The one is the project proponent, then second comes the environmental consultant, and the third one are the statutory bodies and regulatory processing authority. Project proponent or project initiator is an individual, group or organization that submits or processes some project for new establishment or extension of existing project. The owner of the organization or person designated for the purpose or project team leader, etc., as the case may be, play key roles that determine the concept and content of a project. The role of the project proponent is to prepare detailed project description and present it to the stakeholders. Next comes the environment consultant. An environmental consultant is an individual or organization who provides intellect on a range of environmental issues, offering expert advisory and assessment services to project proponents to ensure that possible damaging effects of the proposed project are managed or eliminated. The environmental consultant is supposed to be aware of all government rules and regulations regarding environmental issues. As per new EIA rules under EIA notification, the environmental consultants should be accredited by Quality Council of India. Environmental consultants cover a range of disciplines such as water and soil pollution, air and noise pollution, renewable energy, waste management and recycling. Environmental consultant is the most important part of EIA process and is responsible for looking after the pre-feasibility and suitability of the project, to find the category of project as per schedule given in the notification 2006 and determine whether the project requires environmental clearance or not. If the project requires the environmental clearance, then apply for the same. It is also the work of the environmental consultant to screen and scope the project as per guidelines of the government, to develop conceptual plans to identify and consideration of potential environmental contaminants, presentation of the scoping of project to the relevant statutory committees, to conduct field surveys and collecting primary or baseline data about soil, water, air or noise at and around proposed project site, to undertake field work to identify socio-economic and other environmental impacts of the proposed project, including impacts on native biodiversity, change of land use pattern, etc. To interpret the collected data in terms of existing pollution levels at site, socio-economic, demographic impacts, etc. To determine the increase in pollution load due to proposed project or activity at or around the environment of proposed project or activity. To prepare and advise the proponent about the environment management plan during different stages of the project. Further, to complete all documentation in respect of various clearances required from other related departments, to prepare mitigation plans of various environmental pollutants which may arise due to proposed activity, to advise the proponent about the legislative issues or legislation impacts on the proposed projects. Then comes the number 3, statutory bodies and regulatory or processing authority. Environment clearance committees are established by the legislation of Government of India in order to assist the government on environment clearance issues. As per EIA notification 2006 and subsequent amendments, there are 3 level statutory bodies, that is central government level, state government level and district level, responsible for the EIA clearance. The member secretaries of the committees, which are registered at online portal, generally act as processing authority. They are generally senior members of the Pollution Control Board or Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Then, discussing the process of environment clearance or appraisal. The EIA process in India proceeds through the various steps. These are: number 1, determination of project category. The first step of the EIA is to screen the project to determine in which category of the schedule the project lays, because the further steps and rules will depend on the category of the project. The project proponent, with the help of environmental consultant, work to determine the category in which the project falls. For this, schedule available in the EIA notification 2006 and its amendments is referred. The schedule has two main categories, Category A and Category B. Category A, it is dealt at center level. All the projects require EIA report for appraisal and also have to undergo public consultation process. Whereas in Category B, the Category B is further divided into Category B1 and B2, except township and area development projects which falls under Category 8A of the schedule. Category B1, it is dealt at state level. The projects categorized as B1 require EIA report for appraisal and also have to undergo public consultation process. All Category B projects or activities listed under the schedule of the EIA notification 2006 and its amendments shall be considered as Category B1 projects and appraised as per the procedure prescribed in the notification, except specifically mentioned in Category B2. Category B2, it is dealt at state level or district level depending on subcategory. The projects categorized as B2 are to be appraised based on the application accompanied with pre-feasibility report and other relevant documents at state level, except the projects of mining of minor minerals at the district level. Hence, in nutshell, the environment clearance or appraisal has different rules and routes for Category A, B1 and B2 projects. Hence, the process of environmental clearance or appraisal has been discussed accordingly. The present module will discuss the step-by-step process for Category A projects only. So, stages in the prior environment clearance process for Category A projects. The Category A projects of schedule as per EIA notification and amendments thereof has to pass mainly through the three following steps. One is scoping, next is public consultation and finally appraisal. The stage 1 of EIA notification 2006 is not applicable for the Category A projects. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, in consultation with Central Pollution Control Board, has reclassified the industries into red category, orange category, green category and white based on the score of pollution load or index. For the new category of white industry, which is practically non-polluting, will not require environment clearance and consent. Further, in this flowchart, we can see the environment clearance process. We see that first there is a submission of online application in Form 1 with other documents. Then the same is processed further for scrutiny and technical review by the MOEF. If the MOEF feels that in the scrutiny and technical review that it can be processed further, so it is further processed for issuance of TOR for EIA by Environment Appraisal Committee, or may be sent back to the project proponent or consultant for compilation of all the statutory requirements regarding scrutiny and technical review. After issuing of TOR by the EIA for EIA by the EAC, draft EIA or EMP is prepared by the project proponent or project consultant on behalf of the project proponent. Then it is further sent for the public consultation and final EIA, and this public consultation is carried by the state pollution control boards. After public consultation by the state pollution control boards along with the final draft of the EIA, it comes to the EAC, which is further appraised by EAC. If EIA is recommended by the EAC. Then it further follows technical review by MOEF, decision by MOEF, yes or no, and the project. If it is yes, project is given clearance. If it is no, it is rejected in terms of EIA, EAC recommendation. Or this may also be recommended for reject by EAC due to EIA or EMP non-compliance, then the project automatically ends here. Next, the timelines prescribed in the notification for various stages of clearance are: number 1, for issue of terms of reference, that is TORs, 30 days specified. After 30 days, the standard TORs generated by the system are issued automatically. Public consultation 45 days, appraisal 60 days, communicating the decision to project proponent 45 days. Further, the first step is scoping. Scoping refers to the process to determine detailed and comprehensive terms of reference addressing all relevant environmental concerns for preparation of an EIA report in respect of the project or activity for which prior environmental clearance is sought. Step 1. Step 1, as already discussed in the flowchart, is online application for prior environmental clearance. If project lays in the category A of the schedule, online application is filled for the prior environmental clearance and getting terms of reference TOR by project proponent with the help of environmental consultant. The online application can be applied at www.environmentalclearance.nic.in. The documents uploaded along with the online application generated by environmental consultant on behalf of the project proponent or developer are: cover letter, duly stamped and signed by the project proponent or developer; Form 1 as per Appendix A; then pre-feasibility report, environmental management plan, proof of ownership of land, approved layout plan along with relevant annexures, topographic sheets. Properly filled form is shown here in the table. We can see there are 8 main points for this. It is: first, properly filled form 1. Number 2, in case where the land has already been purchased or acquired, proof of ownership of land; or in case where land is yet to be purchased or acquired, then proof of ownership of land, existing owner, such as copy of latest Jamabandi, not more than 1 month old, and credible document showing status of land acquisition with respect to project site as prescribed in OM dated 7 October 2014 issued by Ministry of Environment and Forest. Number 3, copy of master plan of area showing land use pattern of proposed site or certificate from competent authority intimating land use pattern of the project site as per proposal of master plan of the area, layout plan duly approved by the competent authority or conceptual plan of the project, topographic map of the area showing contour plan. In case of area development projects, the contour plan shall reflect the true existing physical features of the site and may be prepared by project proponent with respect to some permanent reference marks. Then the other document required are: status of construction, if any, along with photographs from all the 4 sides; 500 meter radius map of area from periphery of project site, clearly indicating the various industries, especially red category industries and structures lying in the area. Complete details of following by making it an integral part of the conceptual plan or drawing or layout map. These are location of STP, solid waste area, green belt, parking space, rainwater harvesting and water recharge pits, firefighting equipment layout, first aid room, location of tube wells, DG sets and transformers and any other utilities. If the processing authority finds the application in order as per the checklist, the application is further processed for consideration of the respective expert appraisal committee. The composition of committee and eligibility conditions for the members of EAC have been attached in Appendix 6 of the EIA notification and its amendments. Otherwise, the proponent is asked for the remaining or missing documents and additional information. For the projects of category A, there are many sector specific committees. Currently, as on March 2018, there are committees for category A projects. These are coal mining, industrial projects, then infrastructure and miscellaneous projects, non-coal mining projects, river valley and hydroelectric projects, thermal projects, etc. Then comes the step 3, consideration of application by EAC. Here, the application is placed before the EAC by the processing authority to the relevant committee. The committee scrutinizes the application and the documents thereof. The environmental consultant and the project proponent appear before the committee for presentation of the proposed project or activity. The committee, if satisfied, issues the terms of reference for further EIA study. The TORs addresses sector specific issues relating to environment impact assessment studies. It maintains a common format for EIA report preparation for all sectors. Provision has been made to address issues unique or specific to each sector wherever applicable. The common format or generic structure essentially comprises of 11 sections which ultimately became 11 chapters in the manual. These 11 chapters are introduction, project description, analysis of alternatives, description of environment in terms of land, air, water, noise, etc., anticipated environmental impacts and mitigation measures, environmental monitoring program, additional studies, project benefits, environmental management plan, and then finally summary and conclusions and disclosure of consultants. Terms of reference TOR for all the sectors prepared by the experts are presented to the members of the core and peer committees. These peer and core committee members and invitees from MOEF have reviewed these documents. Standard TOR for the discussed sectors are available on the website of www.environmentalclearance.nic.in. These are terms of reference for environmental impact assessment of ports and harbors, for airport development, expansion, modernization, term of reference for environmental impact assessment of highway projects, terms of reference for environmental impact assessment of building, construction, township and area development, terms of reference for environmental impact assessment of mining of minerals, terms of reference for environmental impact assessment of mineral beneficiation, terms of reference for environmental impact assessment of coal washeries, terms of reference for environmental impact assessment of asbestos based industries. The different sectors are divided into further groups depending on the activities. These project activities are group 1 and group 2. We can see here in this table that in group A are the activities regarding highways, ports and harbors, airports, aerial passenger roadways, building and construction projects and townships and area development projects. Under the project activities group 2 are nuclear fuel processing and power generation, mining and minerals, asbestos based projects, coal washeries, mineral beneficiation. Further, the EAC may add new terms in addition to standard TOR if so required for the EIA study. The next step is public consultation. Public consultation refer to the process by which the concerns of local affected person and others who have plausible stake in the environmental impact of the project or activity are ascertained with a view to taking into account all material concerns in project or activity design as appropriate. All category A and category B1 projects or activities shall undertake public consultation except as specified in the para 7.1 to 7.31 of the EIA notification 2006 and its amendments. Then the fourth step comes the preparation of EIA report and public consultation. After issue of the TOR, project proponent gets the permission to conduct EIA. EIA is carried in detail as per TOR and additional terms if any. The generic structure of the environment impact assessment document is described in appendix 3 of the EIA notification. Further, the contents of summary of the EIA report is described in appendix 3A of the notification. The EIA report so prepared is placed on the website of the proponent. The regulatory authority may make the report available on a written request from any concerned person for inspection at a notified place during normal office hours till the date of the public hearing. Public hearing is conducted as per procedure prescribed in appendix 4 of the EIA notification and its amendments. Further, all the responses received as part of this public consultation process are forwarded to the applicant. After completion of the public consultation, the applicant shall address all material environmental concerns expressed during this process and make appropriate changes in the draft EIA and EMP. The final EIA report so prepared shall be submitted by the applicant to the concerned regulatory authority for appraisal. The applicant may alternatively submit a supplementary report to the draft EIA and EMP addressing all the concerns expressed during the public consultation. Then the last and fifth step is appraisal. Appraisal means the detailed scrutiny of the application and other documents including the final EIA report, public consultation report, etc. by the expert appraisal committee. The proponent or authorized representative is generally called for the detailed presentation. The EAC may ask the proponent for furnishing necessary clarification in person or through an authorized representative. The expert appraisal committee gives its recommendation to the regulatory authority concerned either for grant of prior environmental clearance on stipulated terms and conditions or rejection of the application for prior environmental clearance together with reasons for the same. The appraisal of an application is completed by the expert appraisal committee concerned within 60 days of the receipt of final environment impact assessment report and other documents. So dear students, in this module we conclude that the category A projects are dealt at the central government level under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. EIA report and public consultation are must for this category of projects. This passes through a streamlined process and all the stakeholders and consultants, proponent, etc. are given enough or sufficient time along with explanations to compete for the EIA process. Thank you.